In service-based industries like commercial cleaning, strong customer relationships aren't just about showing up and doing the work. They're about meaningful connecting with the people we serve. Meaningful, that's important. Today, we're going a step further. Instead of simply fulfilling contracts, how can commercial cleaning professionals engage at a deeper level, inspire trust, and help customers see the difference between transactional service and a real partnership? That's at the heart of our conversation today. And to do this, I'm pleased to welcome back who's now a regular guest, Larry Levine. How are you doing, Larry?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself, Jeff?
Doing great. You know, I think back to our first conversation when we talked about the trust issue and those four components of trust. This is part two of that. So we'll have two more episodes after this one. But such a different way of looking at business compared to the normal, here's my proposal, sign the contract, let's do the work. I like it.
No, absolutely, because, and we've already been unpacking this in our
Mhm.
time together, is this industry, this service-based industry is highly relational, massively relational. We understand the importance of building relationships. In our last time together, we talked about the importance of building congruent, authentic relationships. Well, there's a conundrum to all of this. And I think a lot of service-based business fall into this is I want to be liked. I want to be friends. That's how I build relationships. That's how I build trust. Possibly, not always. What we want to start thinking about in our time together today is how do we combine this with some meaningful, you used the word meaningful here a second ago. How do we provide some meaningful value, some business substance on top of this that gets our clients or our future clients thinking completely different about their business so we don't get caught in the friend zone that a lot of people get caught in.
What do you mean by that? And what does that mean in a practical way for those watching today?
Oh, this is really good, and I'll peel this back, and we'll go as deep as you want to go on this. This is what I want people to think about with all due respect. I know you have great relationships. They like you, you're friends. They're consistently buying things from you. I totally get that. But what do you truly know about their business? What do you truly know about their business? We're going to take this deeper. And here's what I want everyone to please just think about. And you've heard us, Jeff and I, talk about this before on previous episodes. I want you to visualize, internalize your best customer, however you choose to define this. Maybe the ones you're pals with, your buddies with, you go out to lunch with, you play golf with, all of this stuff. Y'all get where I'm going with this. Here's what I want us to think about. Do you truly understand their goals, their initiatives, their challenges? What's pressing right now? What do they need to solve in the next 30 days, 60 days? Where do they see their business 6 months from now? What's success look like a year from now? This is your best customer. I'm here to tell you this. If you can't answer this or you struggle to answer this, there's an opportunity that you all have to enhance that relationship by understanding this. And then you bring your business insights, business substance. You help educate them. You become a guide to help them get there. That doesn't rock the friendship by no means. It actually enhances it, Jeff.
Yeah, I like that, Larry. And there's a lot of meaning to that because we can take them to lunch and go on the golf course. We can be close friends, but still not understand their business. You know, that's another whole avenue of thought to dig into what their business is like, what it means, their dreams and ambitions with it, and what we can do to help them with that. Understanding that we are talking about cleaning and maintenance of facilities, but without that service, their business is going to suffer, no doubt.
Absolutely. And I want to play on this, and I just have to throw a stake in the ground on this. There's a lot of salespeople out there that said, "Hey, Larry, right? I kind of buy in this, but you know what? Me being liked and me being friends with people, it's got me some really good business. I acknowledge it. I totally do. I'm not here to discredit it, none whatsoever. But there's a dark side to this. And the dark side of it is you're in a massively competitive business. Your customers, the best customers, however you define this, it's probably safe to say you got competitors calling on these accounts. Just like hopefully you're calling on your competition's best customers. Now, if you lean into this being liked and being friends and going out to lunch and buying things and all that as your pathway to success, I don't believe it's sustainable. Here's why, because you're going to get a very forward thinking, savvy business professional who's going to catch the attention of one of your best customers that's going to get them to think. And Jeff, I'm just going to use your name because we'll personalize it. It's going to say, "Hey, man, I've been doing business with Jeff for a long time. He likes me, right? Well, we like each other. We play golf together. We go out to lunch. But he's never got me to think in a direction this other person just has. And then all of a sudden, your relationship starts getting wonky and getting sideways. This is the meaningful value part of this. If you can layer this on top of this, right? One of my favorite hot sauces is Frank's Red Hot Sauce. This is like the Frank's Red Hot Sauce to highly relational sellers. Bring some business substance to this, understand their business initiatives, their goals, educate them. You're a smart seller. Bring in all the industry knowledge you have layered on top of their business based on where they see their business, their goals, their initiatives, where they want to take their business. Now, watch what happens next.
I remember one conversation I had with a business owner who did a lot of contract proposals, and he says, if I can get in the room and talk to them, I'm getting that contract.
Yeah.
Savvy business person. He might become their friend, but he knew what they needed. He knew, at least he had that confidence that he was the solution to their challenges. And isn't that what we want? Someone to take away the pain and make it easy on us. Um, I'm going to talk about sausage making, Larry, because there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes in a cleaning company, a facility services provider, that those that we work for may not see. You know, we don't want to see the sausage made. We just want to enjoy that bratwurst with a little bit of Frank's Red Hot on it because that makes it better, according to Larry Levine. Talk about how we might bring that to light with the ones we're talking to, the behind the scenes action and what that means to them and how they might not have considered that. Is that an important part of this?
And here's and I'm glad and thank you for sparking this because here's what I want somebody to start thinking about. This goes and I think it's difficult, Jeff, in these relational type settings where you want to be friends and you want to be liked is you don't ask the questions, albeit the tough questions, the necessary questions. I mean, for me, it's second nature. For you, it's probably second nature. But for a lot of the people that are watching this, they may not even ask. So, Jeff, tell me what's really going on in here, right? The key word in here is really. Tell me what's really going on. It's after 5 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock at night. What's really going on? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about as you drive to your office? What are you thinking about as you're driving to your first job? What's going on? What are you deeply thinking about? Can you please share that with me? There's power in that. That's leaning into the relational side of this. But when you can get the answers to this is how you bring the meaningful value and the business ideas based on you intentionally listening to what that person says.
Those watching who run cleaning companies or do the proposals, the marketing, all of that, they might have that one client that they are trying to crack the nut. They're trying to make that work, get the contract signed. I think they all probably have that one client that they are just not sure what to do with. What would you say, Larry, that they could breathe life into their presentation, into that, into what we're talking about today, to get that one client that's just hard to get to buy into what they're selling?
I don't think it's to get them to buy into what they're selling as much as it's to get them to open up about how you might be able to help. Big di I think there's a big difference in this because it's how these people carry themselves. So I'm going to go back to this word transaction we've used in our time together. When you carry yourself as a transaction, you're just there to clean, insert name of business. It comes across in your talk, your walk, your speak, your body language, and so forth. But if you want to get somebody to open up, and then this is just my 2 cents on this, Jeff. I think the reason why people are guarded and the reason why maybe they don't say the things that you'd like them to say is you haven't given them the safe space to open up, to share with them, hey, here's what's really going on in here. Because you've been shining the light on yourself because you're so worried about getting a cleaning contract. How about if you just pump the brakes a little bit, right? You got to understand where to pump the brakes and where to tap the gas. Pump the brakes, tap the gas. It all's in the questions you ask and how you set this up. Walk me through what your business looks like right now. As it relates to this aspect of your business, what concerns you the most? When it comes to the cleanliness, I'm making this up, Jeff. As it comes to as you think about the cleanliness of your restroom, or you think about the cleanliness of the front of your building, what do you think about? What worries you most? If this was left unnoticed, what's the impact to your business? Again, all very forward thinking things to think about. You front that in on the front end of your presentations or your conversations, watch what happens. It gets people to open up. But I think too many people are worried about, I just got to get the contract signed. Here's all the great things my company does. All rightfully so. Y'all are great companies. They don't want to hear that. They want to know how you can help them solve these issues that they have going on. The only way you're going to find it out is you got to paint the picture and create the story and have them be a part of the story so they can open up.
And we're really talking about the long game here, Larry, because a cleaning contract, a proposal, when it's time, that's kind of a short window in a way. Some contracts are signed for a year, two, three. I'm no business owner in the cleaning world, but contracts are dated. So when one opportunity comes up and you're talking about all the things we can do with that relationship and build and have those conversations and all the things we've discussed so far, that window might be a week or two, could be a little longer, but that shouldn't matter, should it? We should play
No.
the long game. Talk about that maybe in conclusion.
Here's what's interesting. I understand this. I understand it wholeheartedly. The short-term thinking that a lot of people in service-based business have, right? Hey, Larry, you don't get it, man. I got payroll to cover. I got people to pay. I got to look at things in 30-day increments. Hey, I totally get it, but that's just like your foot on the gas pedal all the time. I'm saying don't deviate from that. However, the big however is I got to start looking at things 60, 90, 120, 180 days down there so I can create some consistency in my recurring revenue. Nothing wrong. We gotta understand how to play the short game and the long game and marry these things really nicely together. That means we have to just softly play the reactive versus proactive game. This is mindset. This is a complete mindset change. But it's fair to say this. The people that are watching or listening to this, they want to grow their businesses, or else they wouldn't be watching or listening to this. But if you want to consistently grow your business in a recurring business model, you got to understand how to play the long game. Marry it with what you're currently doing. Maybe that's adding some certain activities to what you do on a daily basis. Maybe that's getting rid of some of your self-limiting beliefs, a whole topic of another conversation. But if you don't play the long game, you're going to get stuck in chasing what you chase. And that's the transactional aspect of this, which is going to drive you into the ground.
Agreed. I like that. You have to think about the long game, and the short game is always there, always to cover payroll, other things you mentioned. But that conversation, that golf game today may pay off in a year. Who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah. Well, Larry, we're out of time. Any final words of advice, or are we good? What do you think?
I would just, and by the way, I'm grateful that we're running this series, and hopefully the people that listen and watch this see value in this. There's two sides of the trust coin. There really is. We've talked about it. It's authentic relationships. Now that's combining with meaningful value. I'll leave everyone with this. Please, moving forward, do not get caught in the friend zone. Do not get caught in the friend zone.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. It's important to keep that separate, even when you are being friendly and building that relationship.
But you know what? I'm glad I threw a stumper out at the end that kind of left us with the cliffhanger, but it was done for a reason. I
Mhm.
just want people to think it's okay. Just don't get caught there.
Well, good advice, Larry, as always. And we'll get together for the third round of these inspirational moments with Larry.